Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Hindu Plus Education Plus Career Counseling Series. I am Sujata. I am Deputy Editor in the Reporting Department and I cover higher education for the Hindus Tamil Nadu edition. I have with us today 4 eminent panelists. They are experts in their field of specialization. They would be discussing on the power of psychology in Indian society. First among them is Dr. Kevin McLaughlin. He is Emeritus Professor at Lifespan Development and Educational Sciences, Kent State University, Ohio, USA. Dr. Kevin has a doctoral degree in school psychology and instructional psychology from the University of Utah. He is a credentialed school psychologist serving in Ohio's largest school psychology preparation program. Dr. McLaughlin has been involved in federally funded training of interdisciplinary leadership personnel, working with toddlers, infants, and newborns for 25 plus years. He has prepared at the graduate level about 200 direct service professionals over a 20-year period who now work within their disciplinary fields directly with populations of very young children with disabilities and with their families. He has authored, edited, or contributed to 10 books and over 100 published research articles and chapters. He is the editor of School Psychology International Journal. His publications have matured into a reflection of 4 basic themes, exploring the importance of wellness on children's health and happiness, describing and sometimes debunking the fast developing industries within education, exploring the power of governmental regulations in changing the shape and feel of public education, and bringing to publication writing that is accessible to parents and educators about the contemporary forces in social policy that affect public education. Welcome, Dr. Kevin. Professor S.P. Tyagarajan is a Doctor of Science in Medical Microbiology, in addition to his PhD and MD degrees. And he's a fellow of the National Academy of Sciences and the National Academy of Medical Sciences. Dr. Tyagarajan, for people in Chennai, they don't need any introduction. And if you're from Madras University, you definitely don't need an introduction. He is the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Madras, the Pro-Chancellor of Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research, a deemed university, and was invited to be the Chancellor of the Avinashi Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, again a deemed university. He has completed 60 nationally and internationally funded research projects and has published 384 research papers and 23 books. He is now advisor to the Chancellor of VIT, Chennai. In academic circles, he's the top. I'm sorry, I missed out something. Yes, I have missed out a few things. Okay. Dr. Tyagarajan has shown the way 40 years ago when he actually worked on a patented drug, Virohep, for treatment of chronic jaundice. It is called which is called hepatitis B, from the Indian medicinal plant Phyllanthus amaris, which was marketed by Rallis India Pharmaceuticals and Shreya Life Sciences India through Madras University Industry Agreement. In academic circles, this is a talk now, but he's done this 40 years ago. Professor Tyagarajan spearheaded the 150th year celebration of the University of Madras by securing a special grant of 125 crores from the central government. He continues to serve as chairman member of expert committees of Niti Aayog, UGC, ICMR, DST, DBT, DRDO, Ayush, WHO, NAC peer teams, and has developed UGC regulations, multi-centric research projects of funding agencies, and national programs of MHRD and Ministry of Education. His salient contributions to the UGC, which is the University Grants Commission, and Government of India include several UGC regulations and policy reports in higher education, including UGC Regulations 2010 and 2013 on appointment of teachers and vice chancellors in Indian universities, UGC Regulations on the Academic Bank of Credits of the National Education Policy 2020. He's also an expert in developing and implementing RUSA programs for state universities and colleges, besides many others for the last 2 decades. Professor Tyagarajan is on invitation. He has taken up the position of Chancellor Avinashi Lingam Institute for Science, Home Science and Higher Education for Women, which is a UGC supported deemed university, and at VIT University, he is spearheading functional international collaborations with foreign universities and evolving high quality international research centers in science and technology. Welcome, Dr. Tyagarajan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Vijay Banu Yu is a qualified behavior analyst with working knowledge on industrial psychology, organizational behavior, and organizational development, with 15 years of experience in teaching, training programs based on different needs of the individual groups, organization, and trained psychological assessment and psychometrics. She is a member of the research study on prevalence of learning disability among Tamil students in Malaysia at YSS Malaysia. She has served as a trainer for various organizations like TCS, Wipro, Yamaha, Reddington, etc. She has conducted sessions on topics like stress management, goal setting, coping with change, time management, leadership skills, addiction counseling, and worked with transgender community. She has served as a resource person for various workshop training sessions for adolescent students, both national and international. She has served as faculty member in the Tamil Nadu Judicial Academy and the Tamil Nadu Police Academy. She is the head of department of Bhaktavatsalam Memorial College academic coordinator, Jain University. She has presented over 30 empirical research papers in national and international conferences. She's published 35 papers in national and international journals and has also written 5 books, which are study material for PG psychology students who study through distance mode at the University of Madras, besides for undergraduate students. She is a member of various associations, including the American Psychological Association, the Indian Association of Applied Psychology, and the Indian Association of School Psychology. She is also a professional member of the Neuro and Biofeedback Society, NABS, and member Australia and New Zealand Mental Health Association. She is a member of Research Committee at Venkateshwara Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital. Welcome, Dr. Vijay Banu.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Maya Ratnasabapathy obtained her PhD from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, and served there as a visiting faculty for 3 years. She is guiding PhD research scholars in the areas of educational psychology, social psychology, neurocognitive psychology, and disability studies. With 23 years of teaching experience in colleges, she's also been associated with roles primarily in industrial psychology and consulting in corporate institutions. She's won numerous research awards, including the Best Faculty Award at VIT Chennai. Her interest is to understand social issues and construct models and techniques to develop social policy. She has more than 60 research publications in peer-reviewed journals and is the principal investigator of 8 funded projects, of which 1 is international. She has authored book chapters and won a patent for the Casper intervention model to improve the social skills of children with dyslexia. Welcome, Dr. Maya.
Thank you, ma'am.
So each of the panelists would be discussing one particular subject, one issue. Dr. McLaughlin will be speaking about psychology and understanding oneself. Dr. SP Tyagarajan will explain to us what are the subjects, what are the course content of psychology. The burden of he'll also be speaking on the burden of psychological issues in India and the initiatives of VIT. Dr. Maya will speak on workplace psychology. And Dr. Vijay Banu will speak on psychology for the lifespan. So I request Dr. McLaughlin to please start his presentation. Dr. McLaughlin, it's over to you.
Thank you so much. Imagine yourself for a moment that you can hold the key to unlocking the mysteries of the human mind. Picture yourself delving into the depths of consciousness, unraveling human behavior, and gaining profound insights into the inner workings of the human psyche. Imagine yourself being able to unlock the secrets behind motivation, emotion, memory, and decision-making. That is the world of psychology, a field that invites us to embark on a journey of discovery unlike any other. Good morning. I'm Dr. Cavan McLaughlin, and I'm a psychologist and a visiting professor at Vellore Institute of Technology in Chennai. I'm excited to introduce you to the fascinating field of psychology, the scientific study of the mind and behavior. Psychology explores questions about how and why people think and feel and act in the way that they do. And today, I'm inviting you to join us on a voyage of discovery about psychology. Psychology is not just an academic subject. It's a doorway to understanding ourselves, others, and the world around us. It's about peeling back the layers of our thoughts, our feelings, and motivations so as to reveal the essence of what makes each of us uniquely human. Psychology helps us explore wide-ranging topics, from the workings of the brain to the intricacies of human behavior in social settings. At its core, psychology is about exploring the tapestry of thoughts, emotions, and actions that shape our experiences and define who we are. From the subtle nuances of social interactions to the profound depths of our subconscious, psychology offers us a lens through which to view our complex human experience. Psychology is a practical tool. It can empower us to lead happier, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. And with those skills, help others to that very same destination. Psychology is about equipping people with the knowledge and skills to navigate the difficulties they might find in their everyday lives, and to do so with grace and resilience. Psychologists stand ready to help people when they're experiencing difficulties or distress that affects their daily functioning and the quality of their lives. So as you see, psychology is deeply relevant to our everyday life. Think about it. Have you ever wondered why you react the way you do in certain situations, or why it is that some people seem to thrive under pressure while others just crumble? Or how childhood experiences shape how we become and what we are as adults? Have you ever wondered why you felt anxious before a big presentation? Or can you recall a time when your mood was influenced by the people around you? Now, psychology can provide us with answers to these questions. It can offer us a window into the human condition. For example, psychological research can help explain phenomena such as why some people procrastinate, how memories are formed, or why we experience stress. Psychology can help us make much better sense of ourselves and our world. Whether you are curious about memory and learning, intrigued by the dynamics of human relationships, or fascinated by the unconscious mind, psychology has something to offer you. It's a field that invites questions, it challenges assumptions, and explores the frontiers of human knowledge. Now, do let me put your mind at rest about one common misconception. Psychology isn't just about abstract theories and academic research. It has got real-world applications. That's why it's called applied psychology. And it can touch every aspect of our lives. But nonetheless, psychology is a science. It is based on researched evidence gathered with rigorous methods. It is not just speculation or opinion. Whether it's a need to understand the dynamics of relationship, coping with stress or anxiety, or even depression, or even unlocking the secrets of human motivation, psychology can offer valuable help to navigate the complexities of everyday life. So you see, psychology isn't just about deciphering what goes on in your head. It's a powerful tool that can enhance our understanding of ourselves and others. It can help improve relationships and even transform lives in profound ways. If your interest is in techniques for understanding, diagnosing, and treating mental disorders, and improving the well-being of individuals and communities, then clinical psychology sounds like a good match for you. If you're passionate about and motivated to improve workplace productivity by helping businesses create healthier work environments through boosting employee morale, and by the way, so doing, increase productivity, then organizational psychology might fit your interests. If, however, you can visualize yourself helping individuals, couples, or families cope with life's challenges and emotional difficulties by supporting them to develop coping strategies to manage their problems, then you are describing a role for yourself as a counseling psychologist. Ultimately, if someone is struggling and feels like they could benefit from professional support, reaching out to a psychologist is a positive first step towards improving their mental health and their overall well-being. So I'm inviting you, join us on a journey of discovery into the captivating world of applied psychology. And above all, a field that can lead you to gainful employment as a psychology professional. I'm here at Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai, where with my colleagues, we've developed an intriguing opportunity for you to become trained as an applied psychologist. At VIT, you can receive preparation to become a professional, working as an organizational psychologist or a clinical psychologist, or perhaps as a counseling psychologist, where in your studies and eventually in your workplace, you can embrace your curiosity, ignite your imagination, and embark on a quest to help others unravel the mysteries of their mind. Come, check us out, and together we'll explore the boundless employment possibilities that psychologists and psychology has to offer you here in India. So whether you're curious about why we dream, intrigued by the powers of persuasion, or simply interested in learning more about yourself and others around you, then psychology could become a very useful guide. Consider becoming a student of psychology with us and begin to uncover the world of the human mind. Discover how psychology can enrich your understanding of yourself, enrich your understanding of others and the world around you, and lead to good prospects in employment. I hope you're looking forward to meeting my colleagues. Goodbye for now.
Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin. Dr. Tyagarajan, would you like to speak, or is it Dr. Vijay Banu?
You can ask Vijay Banu to do that. I will come at the end.
Right. Thank you, sir. Madam?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So good morning to one and all. And in continuation with what Dr. Kevin has spoken, I'm here to talk about how psychology is being used through the entire lifespan from the time of birth till you go, how we are going to. See, there are a lot of questions we always have. What is that? Why this person is behaving in this way? How could we change the behavior? Is it likely to happen in future also? So all these WH questions we have about ourselves and about the other people also. So psychology, maybe the main aim of or the goal of psychology is to answer all these questions of what of the behavior, why of the behavior, and how the behavior and when and how to control it. Sometimes if I get anger, I may think about that, oh, I should have not done this. So these answers as how do I feel? How do I think? How do I act? Is there any necessity to change? It answers that. Now let's start with the infant. So as a new mother, as you delivered, there's a lot of changes in the physical and emotional self. So psychology helps. A counseling psychologist who works in a hospital or maybe a clinical psychologist will help them to understand what is the change. Sometimes the few mothers, they undergo postpartum depression, which is lasting for 6 weeks of the child to the 8 weeks. So the counseling psychologist will help them to understand and to deal with that. And also, many new mothers will be very curious about knowing I have to give the best to my child. As a mother, how can I give the best to my child? So what could be the best parenting practices? So psychologist helps them to come out with the best parenting practices and how to bring up the kids. So as the child grows, maybe during the infancy or maybe the toddlerhood or entering into the preschool stage. So we as a parent or as a teacher, it's very important how a child will think, how the cognitive development happens in the child, how why the child is behaving in this way, or is there any problem? Because many a times we find that the child is very hyperactive. So is the child is having a real problem? Because many times we have more answers when we Google, because whenever we have a doubts, we Google it, but that may be a right answer or may not be a right answer. So to understand that, is the child is having any developmental issues or any developmental disorders like ADHD or autism, or maybe a specific learning disabilities, a counseling psychologist and the clinical psychologist will help them in the assessment and the intervention processes and help both the school as a special teacher and as well as to the parents to help them to cope up with children, even not necessarily that the child should have any problem, even otherwise also for the perfect development of the child, psychologists can help. And of course, in the developmental stages, they are very curious to know about many things. How should, because as the parents come for the counseling, the very first question they ask, I just want, my child is not eating this, my child wants only that. So how to control the behavior, or maybe how to bring up them. Or, for many parents, the question is, my child should get good scores. His memory is very poor. How I can help them? So a school counselor can help the child to do well in academics. And having said that, it is not a ready-made things. It is always individualized personal care, because there is always an individual difference. Psychology is all about studying the individual difference. So no child is same as the other. So when a child is coming for a counseling, we give a counseling based on the child's needs and what could be the best for the child. And the next phase is very, very important phase as the child moves to the adolescence. It's a transition between a childhood and the adulthood. For the society, sometimes they are treated like an adult. And at home, especially in the Indian culture, even if the mother is 70 and the child is 40 or 50, it's a child for them. So the adolescent is always, they have a dilemma whether I'm a child or I'm an adult, because when I go out, I'll be treated as an adult. When at home, I'm treated as a child. So, and of course, there is a lot of physiological, psychological, emotional changes which happens, which they need a guidance for them to become a better citizen. So they undergo a lot of questions in them. As in the beginning, I said that as adolescents, they definitely have what is happening inside me? What is the change? How do I understand my identity, gender identity, sexual orientation? Because there is a lot of stigma to talk about all these things. So probably a psychologist, a counseling psychologist, or maybe a clinical psychologist would help them to understand their own gender identity, or maybe they help the parents also to understand the adolescent kids, because our society is not so transparent enough that a child can go and talk about all these things to a parent about his or her own sexual orientation, or what is that. Maybe he or she must be very curious to know about it. So all these issues would be better resolved in a proper way, rather than they just go and talk to their friends, because friends also sails in the same boat. And moving on to the next as an young adulthood, as they now finish their degree, they are on the verge of looking for a career, and should they need a help? What could be what is my cup of tea? Because many times we have heard that I've chosen a field, but then after entering into a career, I feel no, there's something is missing in me. I just want to change my career. So a career counseling can be given by the psychologist. And of course, this is the age, the young adulthood, they enter into a relationship, they decide to get married. And again, I have to talk about the Indian culture. Once the studies is over, the first question they ask, oh, when is the marriage? So once the marriage is over, the next question, oh, when you're going to have your kid. So this you cannot avoid. And of course, now premarital counseling, it's a must to understand the gender, both the gender. How do they communicate? How do they what is their love language? So for these things, a counselor, a marital counselor, can help them in understanding each other even before marriage. As I said, the premarital counseling. And of course, after marriage also, we are hearing a lot about the conflicts. To enhance the marital harmony, the counselors can help them in a better way. And moving on to the adulthood, again, this every stage we say that it is not that only the adolescent stage is a transition between the childhood and the adulthood. Every stage has its own importance. Again, if you look into this middle adulthood, you should balance between the old age parent and the adolescent kids. And of course, middle adulthood has its own problem. We slowly, there will be a change in your physiology, especially for women. There will be a menopause problem they will undergo. So the entire family should understand what is the menopause and how to handle. Even as a woman, I am not open enough to talk about the menopause, or we again culturally we feel so hesitant to talk about how I can talk to especially to a man about my menstrual cycle, or what are the things I undergo as a woman when I have a menopause. So there comes the role of the counselors, a psychologist, or maybe a clinical psychologist, to help them to move on in this phase in a beautiful way, so that they can be taught with all those techniques of relaxation or exercise, and teach them, give a clear understanding of what is actually happening. Then moving on to the old age, again, this is the age where we reflect back. I sit and I reflect back, okay, how I have gone through the entire lifetime. Do I have regrets about my life? Or no, I am so happy about it. Because all these old age people, they need someone to talk to them. They want someone who can listen to them, because they wanted to share the wisdom of whatever they have lived in. So again, old age people, counselors can help them to have a smooth process of to understand themselves better and what they are undergoing. Probably a few old age people, they may have a problem of dementia or memory problems. So a small intervention can help them to lead a better quality of life. So having said this, when you look into this entire lifespan of us, every stage has its own importance. And again, having like with regard to the Indian context, we as Indians, we use actually a lot of psychology. Probably in between, we have lost it. So we let us celebrate. Maybe the psychologist will help you to celebrate each phase of life, because every phase of life has its own challenges, has its own happiness, has its own stresses. So but then for this we cannot just leave our enjoying in the moment. So a psychologist, we help you to stay in the moment, enjoy the moment, have a better quality of life, and have as maybe at the old age you sit back and enjoy the moment. Okay, I have lived a very good life, rather than, oh no, I should have not gone. Right. So with that, I'm finishing my talk, ma'am. Question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay Banu. Dr. Maya Ratnasabapati, please start your presentation. But before that, I just want to say there are some questions here in the question box and they want to intervene here. Just have to say that the audience can post their questions in the chat box. This is not an interactive session where you can participate, because we give the expert time to make their presentation. And once we have questions, we will open the floor to the questions. I will take the questions and pass it on to the speakers, and they will give you the answers. Thank you for understanding. Dr. Maya?
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to dwell into the fascinating realm of workplace psychology, where there is an intricate dance between human behavior and organizational dynamics takes the center stage. Join me in this journey to uncover the secrets behind employee motivation, teamwork, leadership, and much more. Get ready to unlock the power of understanding minds in workplace, which is very important to unleash the potentials of the thriving and a harmonious environment. So let's pause for a minute and think about what makes the workday worthwhile. Are we just going each day in the hope that it would be Friday soon? Many a times it happens. So this is where we need a work psychologist to come and intervene and understand the workplace situation as well as the employees. So, as the name suggests, work psychology is understanding human behavior, understanding the employees, understanding the work setup. So, the next thing that I would like to tell you is that I challenge the notion of viewing employees as mere parts of machine and emphasize the importance of recognizing the intangible rewards behind financial compensations in workplace. Regina Hartley, a human resource expert, advocates for hiring individuals with passion and purpose over those with perfect resumes. I repeat, we want people who have passion and purpose for work rather than those who have perfect resumes. She highlights the value of perseverance and grit in today's workplace. So now let me go on to talk to you about how can work psychology help to make the environment better. See, workplace comes in variety of settings. It can be from traditional offices to hospitals to museums to law firms to non-profit organizations, small businesses, restaurants, major corporations, universities, and the list goes on. There are even industrial and organizational psychologists working on NASA's planned 2030 trip to Mars. A greater understanding of employee psychology will help you employee behavior and get your workforce more engaged. The point here is we have to engage our employees. It helps us to empower the managers to effectively deal with different people because each one is different. Here, I beg to tell you that we have to understand that every individual has his own personality, and that is an outcome of his desires, his needs, his wants, and whatever is unfulfilled desires, and also how his motivation, his aspirations, and so on. So, in a workplace, we are coming together with different backgrounds and with different expectations. And not only that, and we are working with a certain setup which may help us to grow, or sometimes we have to understand it or made to be understand how we have to proceed further. So let me start off first is the hiring and retaining the right people. So by using the psychological principles, organization can hire the right people for the right job. When we have the right people doing the right job, the employee is happy as well as more productive. Building a workspace is very, very important. That is, a distracting, uncomfortable workspace may cause a lot of grind to a halt. A comfortable, inspiring workspace can enhance employees' job satisfaction and performance. Again, we have to ensure there is workplace harmony. When we say workplace harmony, we try to say that co-workers who are competitive, unhelpful, or even openly hostile can create human resource issues and make workplace very, very stressful. By implementing workplace psychology principles, employees can learn to understand themselves and to understand how to work together. Again, we have to be psychologists, make it very important for certain few things that mean a lot to a human mind. That is recognizing accomplishment, making work meaningful, engaging employees, encouraging performance, not individual tasks, advocating breaks, being open to out of office work, and paying attention to employee differences. Now, recently there was a study done which said that, which we already believed that leadership was important in the workplace. Then we went on to talk about teamwork, team player, and so on. But recent research has said that it's come with a new concept which we call as psychological safety. So let me explain what it is. Are you in a position in your organization to share your idea to your team? Do you feel that the fear of rejection? Do you think you can ask for help? Do you think there's somebody who's going to understand? Are you willing to take risks? So these are the things that are now coming to light, where we understand that this psychological safety becomes a threat for the employee's productivity as well as his well-being. Then we talk about the psychological danger, where it's just the other thing. Are we encouraging individuals to pass blame, decrease interpersonal risk taking behavior, or are individuals inhibited to speak up when they need to? Another most important thing in organization that we already know is interpersonal relationship. How do we relate to others? And though we say we are professionals, we know we are grown up or whatever it is, we are also a kind of social beings where we like to be loved, we like to be accepted, we like to be encouraged. And all these things can be done well and better if somebody guides us to do it in a perfect way. So psychology holds a very important place in workplace, considering that many adults engage in some form of work during their careers. Moreover, individuals who experience dysfunctional workplace are likely to understand that principles of psychology is necessary to address the issues, recognizing its potential impact. By delving into the realm of workplace psychology, one gets insights into the factors that foster organizational success, a skill set that provides invaluable and professional setting. I hope I've told a little brief about what workplace psychology is. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was quite interesting because I was just wondering when we're talking about there's so much jargon that is flying around when you're working in an organization. It's like team player and leadership skills, all this we hear every day. So this was quite interesting when you started talking about it. So we've had a variety of discussions happening here, from how your mind works to what exactly happens when in childhood or in adolescence, or when you get into workplace, or when you get married? What are the kinds of things that you think about? I request Dr. S.P. Tyagarajan to make his presentation on this subject, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all the viewers and participants of this webinar. Greetings from VIT Chennai. As you have heard, psychology has got a pervading kind of presence in everybody's life. If you see internationally, you are able to see that in Western countries, every adolescent child, whether boy or girl, goes for psychological counseling sometime or other. What is the situation in India? Let us try to see how we can understand the situation in India. Are you able to see my slides? I suppose you can see. As per Government of India statistics that is available with us, 20% of Indians need counseling at some point or other. 10% of Indians suffer from moderate disorders, which means they require some psychological interference, and sometimes some psychological therapy may also be required. The UGC has now stipulated that all universities and colleges need to have student counseling and guidance centers with qualified psychologists. It's not just only at the higher education level, even in the schools, it is being insisted upon. However, 93% of the schools do not have professional counselors. And all the more important because adolescent psychology becomes a major problem even in the schools. Then there is an urgent need that you need to have a professional counselor in all the schools. So if you work it out like that, the assessment of Government of India is that we require about 15 lakh counselors for the 315 million students. It is an underestimate. Actually, the studies done across the country have shown that we require about 30 to 35 million counselors in India. But if you see the actual presence, you will be able to see that there are approximately 23,000 registered clinical psychologists in the country. As it grows on, as people have more and more of stress-related issues and other psychological problems that are coming in at every stage of their development, now family counseling centers have come in. The Government of India itself has established family counseling centers in 1983. By 2023, we have around 800 family counseling centers. So when you have so many kind of intensity of this problem and burden of the psychological disorders, you need to have some trained manpower. The trained manpower availability is a term which has to be relatively looked into. What kind of a quality you want, what kind of an institution can offer that kind of an international quality, all that is required. That is why the Vellore Institute of Technology has joined with Kent State University, Ohio, USA, and some other universities, and we have developed the next we have developed the 5-year integrated MSc Applied Psychology program, which is going to be launched this academic year at VIT Chennai. This is a 5-year program which will end as a MSc Applied Psychology. It starts as a BSc Psychology program, a 6-semester program, and then the students who go through together as a BSc undergraduates, they will branch off to specializations. either for clinical psychology or for counseling psychology or for organizational psychology, so that their employment opportunities are granted. Such candidates will go through these 4-semester program from semester 7 to semester 10, and they will acquire a master's applied psychology in counseling psychology, or MSc applied psychology, clinical psychology, or MSc applied psychology, organizational psychology. This is the kind of a structure that we have given. But what is more important is the structure of the curriculum. That is the most important thing, which we have worked it out in collaboration with international university. Dr. Kevin McLovin, who is the international professor in VIT Chennai, has been fully involved in developing the curriculum and syllabi content for all these particular programs. It is purely on a choice-based credit system pattern with the discipline core courses for different kind of years. If it is an undergraduate program, it will be for 69 credits. And if it is honors with the end of 4 years, it will be 97 credits. And at the end of 5 years, MSc, it will be 97 credits. But if you put together, I will just narrate you the different type of courses: discipline core, discipline elective, ability enhancement courses, skill enhancement elective courses, open elective courses, which they can take across the university. And sometimes it could also be with the partner international foreign universities also. Then there will be a project and internship that will be given greater stress while they are going in for the MSc program. The total graded credits will be 205 for the integrated 5-year program. Whereas for the BSc program for 3 years, it will be 124 credits. Having explained to you the structure of the program, which would be different from the conventional model that are available in India, I would also like to highlight what kind of the training process. The training processes are completely novel and unique. In addition to the conventional lecture courses and lab courses, there will be flipped class sessions. There will be experiential learning they will have. Then you will have this international culture of quality circles among the students and faculty. We'll have sessions on case studies of patients or workplace employees, then field studies that they may do in various locations. They will have hospital trainings, both in counseling psychology as well as in the clinical psychology. Internship will be in organizational and other areas also, especially in IT industries. There is a greater need for such kind of workplace kind of a training programs also. In addition, they will have research projects at the level of the postgraduate sessions. The international expert series will be part and parcel of the program teaching learning. We will be having several countries experts. Dr. Kevin McLovin is already there. You will be here every year to handle this particular program periodically. Along with him, the university, the Kent State University in Ohio, USA, and the University of Exeter, UK will be partnering with us in offering this program, wherein we may be able to provide a semester abroad program for the students in these universities. And we also have a plan of twinning program with these universities, so that you will have an international kind of partnership in offering the program and also in providing training. That is the uniqueness and novelty of the program that is going to be offered by VIT Chennai. If any doubts or clarifications are required, the viewers and others can always contact the email ID that is given UGPG admissions at Chennai, ugpgadmissions.chennai@vit.ac.in. With this, I will try to stop here, and maybe that we will be able to handle whatever questions that have already come, and that may be distributed among the expert panel who are here before you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagarajan. So here we have quite a few questions, and I'll just mention the question. Anybody is welcome to take a call on this. There are a couple of questions that are very specific to Dr. Vijay Banu, but I'll come to that later. So the first question is from an anonymous attendee who wants to know which colleges would be best for BSc Psychology. I would like to know who would like to take this.
I'll try to take that question on.
Thank you, sir.
Because the selection of the colleges is the virtue of the student, especially assisted by the parents, because nowadays students are much more knowledgeable. They are able to prune through the syllabi, the infrastructure, the faculty profile, and other kind of collaborative arrangement that an institution has. So my advice would be to see the website of the various colleges and universities which are offering the program, understand the strength of the institution in offering the program. I would rather recommend that institutions which have got some international participation in offering the program will be able to understand the dimensions in view of the employment opportunities that are thrown open for them. Internationally, there is such a great need for psychologists in addition to our own Indian situation.
Thank you, sir. So here is somebody called Amina Fatima Zubair. She wants to know, can I become a clinical psychologist if I take applied psychology as BSc, as my BSc?
Maybe Dr. Maya can answer that.
So with the BSc, we need a PG course to become a clinical psychologist. With just an undergraduate course, you cannot become a clinical psychologist. So if Vijay Banu ma'am has something to add, she can add.
Yes, apart from whatever ma'am said, as of now, RCA has given a very strict rule that MPhil, those who are completing MPhil clinical psychology only is qualified to register as a clinical psychology practitioners. So though now, according to this new NEP, there's no MPhil, but they have got an extension for another 2 years. So it holds good for next 2 years that if at all you're finishing MPhil clinical psychology, then you can train yourself to be a clinical psychologist.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So here's something else. Heard you mentioning different verticals in psychology. Could you help in answering on child psychology?
Of course.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
Of course, since we were not talking about in our presentation the child psychology, there are universities and colleges which offer child psychology specialization. In case if they are more interested, they can take up the course MSc child psychology, or maybe there are diploma courses is also available. After their UG in psychology, they can become a child psychologist.
Thank you. Dr. McLaughlin, I have here a question for you. Professor McLaughlin, if we acquire the power of psychology, can we master the minds of the world? This is very much for you, sir.
Psychology can offer you a lot of personal benefits and skills at helping others. But as to becoming a master of the world on the basis of learning psychology, no, I think that would be overselling what psychology can offer. Psychology's got an enormous amount to offer individuals who want themselves to be more stable, more happy, more fruitful in life. and they can help others reach those same destinations. But as to becoming masters of the world as a consequence of learning psychology, that's a little bit more than I think I could ever suggest that psychology can help with. I think that might have been a question asked for the humor of the question rather than a real interest. But it's good to have humor too. Psychologists know that.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So here is somebody, another anonymous attendee. He wants to know if there is psychology in, if psychology is being offered as a course in VIT, Chennai, and then what is the cutoff that you would expect? Should we write any specific exam? Dr. Tyagarajan, that is for you.
Thank you. See, what I would like to tell you is the announcement is going to come in the next month. We will definitely go with the quality of the VIT, because as many of you know, VIT stands at the 8th rank in the entire country with 1,424 universities. So we definitely would like to have meritorious students for this particular program. There will be a process that will be intimated. Definitely a first class of 60% and above will be the cutoff based on which additional merits will be taken in. So we are all welcome to apply and have the best of the experience in VIT.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So here is how the contemporary contextual technological development and information technology effectively makes changes in children's behavior and their psychology, and why the delinquent behavior gradually increases in juvenile era. This is from Mr. Balakumar K.
Dr. Kavin, you would like to take this question?
Would you want me to repeat it, sir?
You're asking a good question, but it's a difficult one. If you want to change delinquent behavior in adolescence, the answer begins long before adolescence starts. Preparing oneself as a parent and also having influence as a teacher, a counselor, even a neighbor to that child means causing them to understand their responsibility to other people and to themselves, and reflecting well upon their parents and their grandparents. There is no quick fix for a lot of life's difficulties. The distress that teachers experience and the distress that parents experience is real distress. And the problem doesn't go away just by talking about it. But with the benefit of counseling, it is entirely possible to realign the child, the young person, the adolescent's mind to understand the benefits that they can accrue as a result of becoming a good citizen, an Indian with respect for those who deserve respect. As a consequence of this, I don't think that there is a recipe of do this, do this, do this, just 1, 2, 3. It is the child became delinquent over time, and it may take almost the same amount of time to cause them to become a useful, contributing member of society. I wonder if that's a satisfactory answer. Probably not, if what the person who asked it was hoping for a quick fix. But you know, in life, there are no quick fixes. We've all learned that once we get into adulthood.
I agree with you. So here is Gopal Tadepalli. TV Gopal, he's from Anna University, India. He wants to know how to position the study of Indian scriptures outside the domain of psychology. Indic scriptures outside the domain of psychology. Dr. Tyagarajan, would you be able to answer this?
Thank you. I'll do that. See, actually today, interdisciplinary kind of teaching and research have become the essential component of higher education. So you can easily work out the psychological domains that have prevailed upon in the ancient era through the scriptures, sculptures, and others. And that would be an interesting area which will be facilitated by a PhD program if the students are interested to continue their master's level and then to do a PhD. That would be feasible. But definitely during the various courses that they will be taking up, there will be ample opportunity to have basic understanding of these interdisciplinary areas too, which can be continued for their MPhil program and for PhD program. But the only issue is now the UGC has in principle stopped the offering of the MPhil program. So the best possible way is to continue for PhD.
Thank you, sir. So, ma'am, I think this will be for Dr. Vijay Banu or Dr. Maya. So this person, Karunya KS, wants to know from a career point of view, which one is better, school counseling or setting up a counseling center or an assistant professorship?
It depends upon their personality, interest, and aptitude, ma'am, because we cannot suggest this is the best, because every field has its own plus and minus. So I need to figure it out myself, that which is my cup of tea. In case of economical or financial, that again, we just can't say anything clear cut to that. But again, if they are interested in teaching, they want to be with the kids, they want to impart the knowledge, is teaching could be that best thing. Or otherwise, if they want to serve the society, a counseling center could be the best. Maybe Maya ma'am could add something on that.
Yes, even before you can start a clinic or start your own practice, you need a lot of experience. And the best experience you could get is by working in different settings. You can work for some time in school settings, sometimes in colleges, sometimes in hospitals. So when you go to different organizations, when you go to different settings, you really have first-hand information, and you also know your skills, and you'll also get to know which I'm comfortable with. So once you know what you're comfortable with, then maybe you can go deep into it and take it as your career.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Here is one person, Mr. Vijay Kumar, who has already done MSc Psychology from the University of Madras. He is the batch 2003. His question is, would like to know about the scope and relevance of clinical psychology in the current parlance in India. What are the series of course that an aspirant should take? I think this course has been, this question has been answered anyway. Courses that an aspirant should study to become a full-fledged clinical psychologist. Dr. Tyagarajan.
Answer is?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Kavin?
I think that the best person to answer that, Professor SPT, is yourself, because you have the long view. You have an understanding of the Indian nation higher education system, the certification and licensure as a psychologist. So can I pass it back to you?
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you. See, actually today, clinical psychology is becoming more and more popular because of the psychological issues underlying many conditions like malignancies, cancers, chronic diseases. It may be chronic pulmonary disease or chronic renal disease, wherein the patient psychology plays a huge role in providing good quality life for them. In spite of whatever the treatment best available being given, they are to be given psychological strength to face the complications or any other kind of systematic problem that may come, including the financial burden in getting through the treatment schedules and other things. In all these areas, clinical psychology has got a very major role to play. And in fact, now it has become a practice in major hospitals to have a clinical psychologist A team of clinical psychologists are also there who call upon the patients and then try to provide psychological services. Dr. Maya, you would like to add something?
See, when you're talking about clinical psychology and use of it, I first feel that our course will have a lot on physiological psychology. Then we have the biological psychology, then understanding a lot of psychopathology. So all this would give you the basic understanding of the problems from which you can decide actually what specialization or what exactly. See, now everything is micro specialization. You can think of geriatrics, you can think of child, you can think of adulthood or whatever it is, even in clinical. We have a lot of work that is done for care for inpatients, caring the carers. So there are different areas in which a clinical psychologist can be really helpful more than anything. And people need it. So I feel it should be taken it seriously and we should really train them to be equipped to handle these issues.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, there are too many questions here, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to ask that many questions. We have actually 79 questions, and we really don't have that kind of time. But I'm going to ask, there's somebody here who's asked about suggestions for psychology books to read for counseling psychology. I think that is more like everybody would like to know an answer to that question. So whoever would like to go can take this question.
Has he mentioned that has any background of psychology or just as a curious he wants to study?
I think I don't know. There is no mention of anything. This is Renu Ravindran, and this person has asked, can anyone suggest few psychology books to read on counseling psychology? So I'm assuming that person must be a psychology must have some psychology background.
Yeah, maybe I'll answer in both the ways. If at all you're curious to know about psychology and don't have any background of psychology, maybe you can study at or buy a book which is available in Amazon, Pearson Publishers, Sandra Sickrelli, Psychology. The title of the book itself is Psychology, written by Sandra Sickrelli, and it has a little Indian tint because the examples they have a lot of examples of Indian context. So that would be the very best book. Which, if at all you want to have a basic idea about psychology. The next is counseling, maybe Corey, Corey, counseling skills. That book is a very simple book. They can read it. With which all these books are available in Amazon.
Okay, thank you. So another part of the other, this is another question, but anyway, I think this also correlates to what you're saying, or it's overlapping with what you said. Can you suggest some websites or portals for reading psychology content? I'm really interested to know about the intricacies of human mind and its impact on law and crime. I like that. It's an anonymous attendee.
Yes, maybe there is a lot of like Udemy apps as they offer a lot of short-term 6 weeks courses, 1 month course. They can take up and know about it, provided they don't claim later themselves to be a psychologist and open up a counseling center, for which definitely they need to undergo a course and get a degree, because I just wanted to make it as a disclaimer, ma'am, because many a times it happens so that they read it, they just do something and claim themselves, which should not harm the lives of the people.
Okay, so there are too many questions here, and I don't know. I'm not going to be able to take all of them. There quite a number of questions here. So there was one question on. Here's one question. If a person has 15 plus years of experience in IT industry and wants to change their career path, can they pursue their career in psychology? If you have a degree, I'm guessing, I don't know.
Yes, why not? They can definitely do it if they are interested.
Okay. So there's another, I think, Dr. SPT, this is for you. Is there an exchange program, exchange of, oh, I missed that. Okay, I'll come back to that later. Here is one person. I am having a bad mental health due to teachers in my college. So how can I deal with it? I'm always a positive minded person in every situation, but I can't handle how my teachers always discriminate against me. I don't know what discrimination that is, but then yes.
Yeah, discrimination in workplace or in the educational environment is a common problem that is there. In fact, the counselors who are present in the colleges and universities are supposed to take care of these issues and then bring it for a possible remedial measure. Why that discrimination takes place? Is it because of the slow learner approach of the student or any other issues that are considered? But then it is a duty of the institution to see that you are able to provide any bridge program or remedial program or counseling program, and a multiplicity of avenues are available. So my suggestion would be that they should approach the college counselor who is available there, and they will be able to methodically take them on several sittings. One, first of all, to make them reconcile what kind of an issue that they are confronted with, and then try to give them some solution that can bring them back to normal kind of steady mode. That is possible. It is the routine work of any college psychology division. Student counseling can the career counseling is different from student counseling. So that needs to be taken into consideration.
Thank you, sir. So I think this other question, next question will also be for you. Does this course provide transfer exchange programs? I'm assuming that is transfer of credits. If you have ABC, I guess you should be able to transfer credits. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it can be taken into two parts. One is transfer of credits from one institution to the other. This is the basics of the academic bank of credits actually. So that position will come in the coming academic year as per the UGC guideline. Beyond that, we will be able to have transfer of credit with our partnering international universities. That will be much more significant for them because we do have partnership with several institutions, especially for psychology. At present, we have two universities abroad which have already been confirmed to have this credit transfer facility. Certainly, it will be there.
Thank you, sir. There are quite a few questions on the courses that VIT is offering and whether they can pursue the a PG program after some other degree in, say, English literature or some other degree or even engineering degree. So I think that they will have to address to the university in the email ID that you provided. Would that be right, sir?
If their specific questions are sent to the email ID that we have given, we will be able to give elaborate details for them.
May I jump in and suggest?
Yes, sure, sir.
May I suggest that Professor SPT put up his final slide with the email address so that if people have questions about the coursework here at VIT Chennai or any other questions that reasonably we could answer, we will make an attempt so to do. And so would you put up your final slide, SPT, the one with the email address on it? And while I'm speaking, let me say that among the hundreds of people who are part of this webinar this morning, there are perhaps some of you who are in great distress, in turmoil, emotionally, or in terms of your mental health. I urge you, look for help. There are ways that you can get assistance. Seek out a counselor, seek out a psychologist, seek out somebody who has a stable individual, someone who offers good advice. Whatever you do, take care of yourself. Work out ways to help yourself. There are answers for all problems that humans have. And if you seek help, there's a far better chance that you'll be able to resolve those difficulties Do not give up, is what I'm saying.
Thank you, Professor McLaughlin. Thank you, Dr. Tyagarajan. I think I'm going to wrap it up here because we have too many questions and a lot of them have the same kind of quite a repetition. What can I do? What is the course I can do? And I think Dr. McLaughlin has just answered to one particular question without even realizing. There's one person, Divya A. She wanted to know everybody. It's become life has become a rat race, and there's a lot of obsession about. Has become common among modern men. How should one handle these kinds of states of mind? I'm guessing you've already answered that. If there is something that you have, if there is pressure, then please approach a psychologist. But as Professor Tyagarajan said, there are not many psychologists registered in this country, and I'm guessing there's a lot more opportunities for many of them to become psychologists and to help people who have issues. I am going to end the session. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been wonderful. It's been a learning experience. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank you, sir.
hosting this session.
Thank you.
Thank Hindu for that.